you'll only hear my voice. So 1 minute. All right, so I think our classes are live now. Wait 1 more minute and we'll get started. All right, let's get started. Namaste, everyone. Welcome to Hindi University. Really excited to meet all of you this Sunday. As you know, we meet every Sunday, 8 a.m. US Pacific time, and we learn about the Hindi language. For those of you who are new to Hindi University, you can learn more about us by going to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Hindi University. And you can find out all the details about how to join the class, the structure that we're following, the book that is being used. And also, if you missed the previous classes, you can find all the details in the YouTube channel as well. As most of you know, that all the resources we have placed in this link, which is tiny.cc/Hindi University. As I get questions from everyone, I try to put in most of them here. So if you are not aware of anything, this is your go-to resource. Like most of the information you should be able to find on this link, tiny.cc/Hindi University. And so if you have trouble accessing this page, please definitely let me know. Okay. So with that in mind, as you know, we've been working on the book called Teach Yourself Hindi. Okay, it's a book written by Professor Rupert Snell. He's a professor at University of Texas, Austin. You can get the book on Amazon, or you can get it on here on tiny.cc/Hindi University. And right now we're working on chapter number 14. Okay, so we'll continue with this topic. And as always, as I say, like whenever you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay? So in the previous class, last two classes, we spent pretty much a lot of time on relative clauses. Okay, relative clause. And I think we spoke about jitna and utna and the different use cases of that. In this class, we'll continue another pair of relative clause, which are jaise and vaise. Jaise and vaise. And these are the pairs that are pretty much used together, jaise and vaise. Okay, and they're used whenever you're comparing two sentences, when there is a, when they are, if there's a likeness of kind or a manner. Okay, likeness of kind and manner. The manner in which you performed, or the kind of things you're talking about, if they're similar, you will use jaise and vaise. So second half of the class, I'll be spending on it, the different use cases of jaise and vaise. Before that, we'll spend just how to use them independently. Okay, so let's look at, so it's interesting when you use them independently, the use cases are different, but when you use them together, you're comparing them, two sentences with their likeness and manner. So let's look at, the pair. So I think first thing is, like, if you can make this table and how to make sense of it. So whenever there is a near in or proximity, basically, and far, interrogative, and relative clause. So first, let's try to put them into different buckets. Okay. The interrogative, you probably are familiar with it, which is the relative to jaise and vaise is kaise. Right? Kaise is often used when you're talking about how. Right? Aap kaise hain? How are you? Right? Aapne ye kaise kiya? How did you do that? Right? It will also mean, like, how or in which manner. That's the interrogative equivalent of that pair. Okay. The relative pair is, as I said, is Jesse. Okay, Jesse, which is basically like this, or of which kind? Of which kind? And now let's look at the near and the far relative keyword for that, right? The first one is essay. And you can see that all of them are rhyming with this ending, like essay, casse, jesse. And this one is essay, like this. Okay, and then the second one is vese, far, vese. Which is like that. So just to be clear, like this is essay, like that is vese, like how is casse, and like like this is the relative of vese and then jesse, right? So basically like as. Okay. Now let's look at the detail of each of them. Okay, so I'm going to start with essay first, and then after that we'll talk about vese. Then third is basically jesse, just by itself, and then after that the pair, how to use them together as a relative clause. Okay, so right now just write it down, even if it doesn't make sense because you've not used the examples, just write it down, and then as we break it down it'll make more sense. Okay, so first we'll start with essay. So this one is an interesting word used pretty commonly in the Hindi words or by the Hindi speakers, essay, which means like this. Okay, the simple sentences I can think of is like is basically essay mat bolo. Who can tell me what you think it means? Essay mat bolo.
Don't speak like this.
Don't speak like this. Don't speak like this. Now, what is the difference? Mat bolo versus essay mat bolo. What do you think?
One says don't speak, and the other says don't speak in this manner, in this way.
Oh, I see. Very good. So first one is mat bolo is, you said it means don't speak. Okay. And the second one is don't speak like this. When will you use either of them? When will you use mat bolo? And when will you use essay mat bolo?
When you are emphasizing, mat bolo would be like generally if you're telling children don't speak, they're making a lot of noise. Essay mat bolo is perhaps if you are speaking in a particular way, it could be insultive, etc. So you tell them don't speak in that particular manner. If you maybe like shouting or yelling, don't speak like this. So yeah, that's my version of it.
No, that's the version that I'm familiar as well, right? So first one is mat bolo, right? I mean, so let's say a teacher is in the class and teacher doesn't want students to make noise when she is teaching or he is teaching, right? So they can say in the class like mat bolo. Okay. Second one is like when a student is saying something very in a rude manner, he or she can say aise mat bolo. Okay, so in this case you can see it means like this. Okay, like this, aise mat bolo. The similar sentences can be said like when somebody's eating food and you want them to say don't eat like this. Okay, Yirka, how will you say, how will you communicate that to the person? Don't eat like this.
I would say aise mat khao.
Very good, aise mat khao. Okay, what else can you guys think of? So try to think in Hindi. If you were to just make more sentences just like this, aise mat bolo, aise mat khao, What else can you think of? You can type it, or you can unmute yourself, or you can raise your hand, and I can, ask you. Taraji, what do you think? What else can you? You have to unmute yourself. Yeah. Right.
ऐसे मत देखो.
ऐसे मत देखो. Very good. ऐसे मत देखो. Like, when I'm, in front of my son or my daughter, and when I'm giving them, like, that look that, they're in trouble, they can say, Papa, aise mat dekho. It makes me uncomfortable, right? That means that, you're mad at me, right? Aise mat dekho. Okay. What else? Anna, you want to give it a try? I can give you a hint. Okay. Anyone else? Kelly ji?
ऐसे मत गाओ.
Aise mat gao. And what does it mean?
Don't sing like this.
Something like this. Okay. Aise mat gao. Okay.
So can I ask a question about this? And maybe I'm hair splitting, as Yusuf says.
Yeah.
So when I think about how I say it in English, right, which I know you're saying think in Hindi, but like it's like, don't eat like that.
Mhm.
Like if you would say don't eat like this, you would be kind of showing someone like don't eat like this. But if you're just saying, if you're looking at a kid and they're eating and slopping all over the place, you would say don't eat like that.
Yeah,
So-
but you're correct. In English, you will say that, but in Hindi, you will use the essay. You will not say "वैसे मत खाओ." You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? You see
And
what I'm saying? So in English, you are thinking right.
Right.
That you don't eat like that and don't think like this. That's why, like, or don't speak like that. But
So
in Hindi,
it's the proximity because you're close. Is
That's
that why
right.
you're using? So if you
That's
were, okay. So if it was, okay. It's just because you're near each other.
that is correct. You will. I'm not aware of the scenario where you will say "वैसे मत बोलो." I mean, of course, there are remote cases I can think of, or I can, if I really want to make that scenario, I can make it up. But generally speaking, you will say "ऐसे मत बोलो" or "ऐसे मत खाओ" or "ऐसे मत देखो." I mean, you're close to them, right? In terms of the distance. So that's the proximity part. Anyone else can think of more scenarios where you can use "ऐसे"? ऐसे मत सोचो, okay? ऐसे मत खाना बनाओ, खाना ऐसे मत बनाओ, okay? ऐसे मत काम, okay? So the more examples that are being shared here is. So I'll give you another hint of it, right? So let's say Rohan काम करता है, okay? Rohan काम करता है. And I'm just giving you another variation of like when to use essay. Okay, what does it mean, Tom? Rohan काम करता है.
This fella is working or works.
Rohan
Kam-
काम करता है, right? Rohan works. Well, very good, right? It means Rohan is the name of a person who works.
Thank you, Rohan.
Rohan, okay? Who works? If you want to change it into interrogative, who works? Who works? Or who works here?
यहाँ कौन काम करता है?
Okay, यहाँ कौन काम करता है? If there is a here. Otherwise, if I want to just, change it to interrogative, it's basically कौन काम करता है. और यहाँ कौन काम करता है. But right now, I'm just writing कौन काम करता है. Okay. If I want to say the same sentence, if I want to add ऐसे here, I can say ऐसे कौन काम करता है. Now this can be tricky for a good number of you, but let's try to think about it. ऐसे कौन काम करता है? Who would like to give it a shot? Sharon ji, what do you think it means? ऐसे कौन काम करता है?
Who works like this?
Who works like this? Very good. Who works like this? Now tell me, when will you use this sentence? Who works like this? First, tell it in English.
Somebody
Like,
does shoddy work.
say exactly. Yeah. So what is the scenario? Like, explain a situation. You put yourself in that situation where you will say, "ऐसे कौन काम करता है?"
I don't know, if somebody came to your house and did poor landscaping and you came out and you're displeased with what you saw,
And you will say,
and you say, "Aise kaun kam kata hai?" Who
"Very
works
good."
like
That's a
this?
perfect scenario, right? Somebody came to do the landscaping, and you are displeased, and you come and you're like, "ऐसे कौन काम करता है?" Right? That's the right scenario. Okay.
Ashu Ji, could I use
Yeah.
this if I was a new worker in an office and asked how the work is done in the office? Essay? Kon?
So you will say काम. No. So you are a new person, okay, in the office, and you want to know how is this work done?
Yes.
Okay, so that's a different one, right? That's
How does
Huh?
one work here?
Okay. Who would like to give it a try to what Tom is asking?
यहाँ कैसा काम करता है और
Okay.
करता है?
Okay. Anyone else? Tara, this looks like you want to speak. So unmute yourself and tell us. If you are at a new place, at a workplace, and you want to know how does Burn work here?
यहाँ कैसे काम करते हैं?
Very good. यहाँ लोग is like, general word or employees. कैसे काम करते हैं? Okay, and they can say, yeah, बहुत collaboratively काम करते हैं, मिलजुल के काम करते हैं, or they can say independently अपना अपना काम करते हैं. Okay, that's a different scenario. This one is when you are critiquing someone's work. Okay,
Thank you so much.
this one is you're inquiring, how do we work here, right? Like, how do we
Jeez.
study here? Like, which is like, हम यहाँ कैसे पढ़ते हैं versus if somebody were to critique me, ऐसे कौन पढ़ाता है हिंदी, right? That's way they will say, which is you will see the YouTube comment, ऐसे कौन पढ़ाता है, right? Who teaches like this? Yeah. Any questions on this one before we move on to the other variations of essay? But remember, the meaning is like this. Okay. Feel free to post it if there are more questions. If this is still not making sense, the homework assignment for you is to make at least 2 sentences of essay. Okay, where you put in essay in front of the sentence. Okay, now the other variation of essay is basically, which you will see, it's very popular in the urban Hindi, right? Which is not, you will not really see that in the more formal one. Essay hi. Essay hi. Anyone else? Anyone has heard of it? Essay hi. What do you think it means? Essay hi.
Just like this? No.
Yeah, just like this. Very good. Just like this. Just like this, or without any yeah, exactly, just like that, or like that only. Like that only, or without any intent. Now, before we look at the Hindi use cases, when will you use in English just like this? When do you use it in your day-to-day conversation? Let's see, someone who has not tried before. Tatyana ji, you want to unmute yourself and tell us, when will you use just like this?
ऐसे ही
ऐसे ही.
मुझे चाय बनाना पसंद है.
Okay, so I'll just, so मैं ऐसे ही चाय बनाती हूँ. Okay, I will say it like this. मैं ऐसे ही चाय बनाती हूँ. I make chai like that only. Now, I don't know if you will, that's probably an Indian English, right? I mean, like that only, right? I mean, but for example, मैं चाय बनाती हूँ. That's what we are used to saying in our day-to-day conversation, that I make chai. Okay. And somebody really liked that your tea, and the method in which you made, or in the manner in which you made, you had the right quantity of cardamom and sugar, ginger, and that somebody is watching you do it. Okay. And you can say मैं ऐसे ही चाय बनाती हूँ. I make chai like this only. Okay. Similarly, मैं ऐसे ही काम करता हूँ. So there is a context behind it. Somebody saw you work, or they're watching you work, and they're like, you're very diligent, you work on time, you deliver on time. And so you can say, yeah, मैं ऐसे ही काम करता हूँ, या रोहन ऐसे ही काम करता है, he works like this only. Okay. It can mean good or bad. It can mean like, if somebody is very crappy at work, they don't finish on time, and like, वह ऐसे ही काम करता है, he works like this only. Okay. So that's one use case of ऐसे ही. Okay. It can be used independently, just like that, right? Somebody asks you, अच्छा तुम इंडिया गए, इंडिया कैसे गए? How come you went to India? ऐसे ही, just like that. I just made up my mind, and I went to I made a trip. Okay. Like somebody, like let's say you bought something, and somebody is interested in finding out how come you bought this, a new car. Your answer could be just like that. ऐसे ही खरीद ली. Okay, without any intent, without any, like there was no purpose behind it, but I just made this purchase, or I made this plan, I made this trip. Okay. You made an elaborate food, okay, in your house, and your friends or family asking you, like, why did you make such an elaborate food? Are you expecting, basically a guest or someone? And you're like, no, ऐसे ही. Just like that, I made the big meal. I felt like it. Questions? Anyone? If you don't ask questions, I will ask questions.
When,
Yes,
sorry,
yes.
when you say,
Yeah, go for it. One person at a time.
sorry, Ashu Ji, is the tone different when you see both the essay? He, just like this, I make tea, is different from, oh, I made tea just like that. And would you change the tone, the way you say it, or is it the same?
I will change the tone. So the first one in, like, मैंने ऐसे ही चाय बना ली. चाय कैसे बनाई? ऐसे ही, right? So just like that, my tone would be ऐसे ही.
Yes. Yeah.
Versus मैं
And
ऐसे ही चाय बनाती. Versus मैं ऐसे ही.
that's,
Yeah.
so there is a difference. Yeah, quite a difference.
That-
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you.
That's a good
Thank you.
question.
That was my.
How does it work in Tamil? Do you have something similar for ऐसे ही?
Yes, we have.
Huh? I think
We
you
have.
You have it as well in Persian. What do you say in Persian?
We say Hamin Juri.
Louder?
Hamin Juri.
Aminjuri. Okay, nice. Awesome. Anyone else would like to share? How does it work in other languages? Polish? What do you think, Inga? Do you have something like this in Polish?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Yeah,
Po
what is
prostu.
it? What?
Po prostu. Simply like this. Po prostu.
Okay. Awesome. That's hard for me to say, but I get it. And you, Girgaji? Czechia, do you say anything like that?
I think we say přesně takhle.
Interesting. Awesome. Okay, so remember, again, we are, just to kind of set the context, we are learning about jaise and वैसे, but before that, we took a small detour and we started learning about how to use them independently. Okay, so homework is, again, think about 2 sentences where you will use ऐसे and 2 sentences where you use ऐसे ही. Okay, without any intent or just like that. Okay, let me pick up pace, and now we'll jump to वैसे. वैसे. Now, वैसे is also very interesting. There are many use cases of that. Okay. First one, as you know, is the common one, like that, वैसे. but we'll look at 3 use cases of it, and this time I'm going to pick up a pace, so, but again, don't think that we're rushing, right? We'll make sure that, no, actually, Vaise is going to do probably some use cases. So Vaise is, it's like that, right? The first one was like this, and this is like that, Vaise. Okay, it also means by the way. By the way. And I'm going to focus on this one. Like, so let's say somebody, you met a new person, you're talking to them, and all of a sudden you want to know, by the way, what's your name? Okay, the first one is we say, आपका नाम क्या है? आपका नाम क्या है? Right? Joe, I'm going to put you on spot. I know you're joining for the first time. When hopefully this should be straightforward. Aapka naam kya hai? And that means you have to unmute yourself. Yeah.
अंग्रेजी में.
Yeah.
What is your name?
That's right. What's your name? And let's say you want to be a little bit more casual about it. You met someone and now you want to know, by the way, what's your name? Like there are situations like that, right? You will say, how will you say that?
वैसे आपका नाम क्या है?
Very good. वैसे आपका नाम क्या है? Okay. You can also say, by the way, where do you work? Because you end up speaking for 30 minutes and now you're curious, by the way, where do you work? How will you say that?
वैसे काम करता है?
Very good. वैसे आप कहाँ काम करते हैं? Okay, वैसे आप कहाँ काम करते हैं? I met you and I'm really impressed that, by the number of languages you're speaking. And I'm curious, by the way, how many languages do you speak? How will I say that?
वैसे आप कितने भाषा समझते हैं?
Okay, very good. वैसे आप
या बोलते हैं?
Very good. वैसे
आप कितने भाषा बोलते हैं?
Very good. वैसे आप कितनी भाषाएं बोलते हैं? Okay, वैसे आप कितनी भाषाएं बोलते हैं? What else? Okay. By the way, what do you do? Let's say, Sunita ji, how will you say that in Hindi? By the way, what do you do?
वैसे आप क्या करते हैं?
Okay. वैसे आप क्या करते हैं? In Bollywood, you will see scenarios where they will exchange the order. वैसे आप करते क्या हैं? Which is basically the more focus on करते क्या है, right? I mean, so more emphasis on the calm, the work that you do. Okay, meaning is the same. वैसे आप करते क्या है? By the way, what do you do? Okay. Slight detour again. Like you probably have heard of this movie, Sholay. It's a very one of the all-time popular movie in Hindi, Sholay. There is a dialogue, in which Amitabh Bachchan, who is like a very popular actor, he tells like the person who is riding the horse, right? I mean, वैसे तुम्हारा नाम क्या है बसंती, which is basically a joke because she says her name so many times. Basanti is her name, but he tells her like वैसे तुम्हारा नाम क्या है बसंती. By the way, what's your name Basanti? Because she keeps saying Basanti does this, Basanti does that, and then she asks him like, by the way, you didn't ask me my name. Where she's already said it like multiple times. Okay, so that's you can check it out. Okay, so that's we learned about ऐसे ही, we learned about वैसे. Can you guys think of more scenarios where you will use वैसे? Let's see, Dhanraj, you want to unmute yourself?
Hi, yeah, we could say like वैसे आप पकाता है?
Say it again. वैसे
वैसे आप पकाता है? like, by the way, what did you cook?
वैसे आपने क्या पकाया? आपने क्या पकाया? Okay, very good. Yeah, वैसे आपने क्या बनाया और क्या पकाया? Awesome. Let's say who else? Someone who's not tried before. Gundev?
Just any examples of वैसे?
Yeah.
Yeah. वैसे तुम क्या काम करते हो?
Very good. Okay, and Yirka has said something very interesting. वैसे आपको क्या लगता है? By the way, what do you think? Which is very commonly used. Like वैसे आपको क्या लगता है? Like, you know, you're talking about something, a topic, and you shared your opinion, and now you're curious what the other person thinks. You can say वैसे आपको क्या लगता है? Okay, Navneet, and we'll move on to the next topic after that. Navneet, you want to share something? When will you use वैसे? If not, you can also type it. Okay. All right. So let's move on. From now, I'll jump to जैसे. Hopefully, we are doing okay with time. Okay. So जैसे. Third one is जैसे. Don't forget it. Okay. I know I'm going a little bit fast, and for you, it's a new topic as well. But at least try to remember some part of it. Okay. जैसे. And now let's see how to use just जैसे. That's a challenge, like when there's a new topic and there are too many new things in it, it can be hard to just remember all of it and then build on top of it. Jaise. Okay. Like as. Okay. Okay, so there are multiple use cases of jaise as well. Jaise, and then the first one I'm going to do is see, first one is when you are saying, it means as an example. Okay. So let's say I'm telling you like there are 5 types of languages. I'm just making it up. Okay. Or, you know, and then I'm giving you jaise, meaning like, for example, you know, Hindi is an SOV language, English is SVO language. So there you will use jaise, where it means as an example. Okay. When you go to a forest and like यहाँ पे बहुत सारे जानवर हैं, there are many animals here. Jaise, you know, bhalu, bear, you know, hiran, deer, and then, so again, I'm using jaise where it means as an example, for example. Okay, as an example or for example. It means, for example. Okay. I can also say there are many verbs in Hindi. Okay. And then I can say jaise, chalna, bolna, dekhna, and then, you know, I can complete my sentence. Okay. All of that means, for example, or as an example. Can you guys think of or share some of your thoughts where you will use like, for example, and in Hindi, you can use jaise. Anyone? And if you want me to write it down, I'm happy to do so in case if it didn't make sense. Taraji? Yeah, go for it. Like somebody was speaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could say मुझे बहुत फल पसंद है जैसे अनार, केला, सेब.
Very good. मुझे बहुत फल पसंद है. I like many fruits. You know, jaise as an example, anar, pomegranate, kela, and then you said more fruits. Good. That's a good example. Taraji, you want to share another one, another example?
वहाँ बहुत भाषाएं बोलता है जैसे स्पेनिश, इंग्लिश, तुर्किश, हिंदी.
Yeah, very good. Awesome. Simona ji is saying मैं बहुत किताबें पढ़ती हूँ और मैंने बहुत किताबें बहुत टाइप की. In this case you can say मैं बहुत वैरायटी की किताबें पढ़ती हूँ. Variety, you can say जैसे fiction, non-fiction, biography. because these are all genres, right? I mean, and it works very well that it's a variety. As an example, I read all these kind of books. Good. Okay, this one is good. बहुत सारे लोगों को चाय पसंद है, जैसे मेरी माँ को चाय बहुत पसंद है, मेरे अंकल को पसंद है, right? So in all those contexts, it will work quite well. Awesome. Okay, so this is one use case of what it means using jaise, where it means for example. Okay, jaise can also mean when something resembles with something else, resembling. And it means like looking alike, something that look alike. Okay, what does it mean? Kelly ji.
What do you mean? What does it mean? Are you looking for an example or?
Yeah, what do you mean that you look alike, and as an example, as well as like, Hindi sentence?
Let's see. I'm not sure how you would use it. What it would be like que jesse, like that kind of thing, it's not really, this is not really a good example, I'm not thinking, but like Portuguese, que jesse, Spanish, it's like they're similar.
They're similar, okay. When somebody look like someone else, okay.
Okay, okay, Heather G, que jesse, Sophia G.
Okay, so Heather, Sophia, के जैसे दिखती है. If they look alike, if they look alike, you can say that Heather, Sophia, के जैसे दिखती है. Okay, Heather looks like Sophia, not the other way around. Okay, Heather looks like Sophia. Let's say I see you, and then this is a very common one, right? People use it jokingly as well, and as well as literally, like,
Wait, sorry, Ashu Ji, which one was which? So is it like the say comparison where you have the que jesse is the one, go back to Heather, Sophia again?
So Heather, Sophia के जैसे दिखती है. Your base is Heather. That we're talking about Heather. She looks like Sophia. Okay. In this context or in this sentence, your base is Heather. You're talking about the person Heather. Okay. Heather, 5 feet 6 inches tall है. वह Spanish बोलती है. वह Sophia जैसी दिखती है.
That's funny, Ashu Ji, because I actually am 5'6".
Yeah.
I knew it from the picture that you sent from New Hampshire. That's what I was thinking of. Okay, so, all right. So Heather is the one
you're talking about.
Heather is the one you're talking about, and she looks like Sophia. So, okay, got it.
Yeah. Let me make it easy. Okay, so let's say I look at Yirka, and like Yirka looks like Shah Rukh Khan. How will I say that?
I'm sorry.
Yirka Shah Rukh Khan के
जैसे दिखती है.
दिखता है, right? For a guy. And Shah Rukh Khan is the name of a.
Such much.
Yeah. Right? Shah Rukh Khan जैसा दिखता है, right? So you're using जैसा for resembling. It means resembling, like something they look, like something or someone.
Okay, Ashu Ji?
Yeah.
If I would like to say my Mary Betty, how can I say Mary? My daughter looks like me, Mary Betty.
Yeah. What do you think? You're talking about your daughter.
Yeah. So Mary Betty, I would say मैं. Do I say मैं के जैसे देखती है?
मैं plus K would be. When you add K to मैं, it becomes.
मुझे.
So you're right. मैं plus K. It becomes Mary. Very good. मेरे.
Okay.
मेरी बेटी मेरे जैसी दिखती है. Very good. Like
so
my daughter.
So मेरे जैसे, yeah,
मेरे जैसी दिखती है.
मेरे जैसी.
Yeah, मेरी बेटी मेरे जैसी दिखती है.
So the जैसे becomes जैसी here? Oh no.
That's right. बेटी, right?
Okay.
मेरा बेटा मेरे जैसा दिखता
okay.
है. Right? If I'm talking about my son, मेरा बेटा मेरे जैसा दिखता है. Right?
Thank
you.
You
not say the other way around. मैं मेरे बेटा जैसा दिखता हूँ. Right? I mean doesn't really make sense, right? I mean, you can say it, but again, like we just to kind of set the context, because it's a long lecture, and you may forget some of the things. So our base thing is we're still on chapter number 14. We're looking for like relative clauses, how to use jaise and paise in pairs. But before that, we started learning about how to use aise, aise hi. We learned about vaise, and then we are learning about jaise. And there are three cases of jaise. First one is as an example. Second one is something is resembling like someone is, and then third one is jaise ki.
Ashu Ji, I have a question.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, go for it. Is that
Yeah.
Vedant?
No, Dhanraj.
Okay.
Could you make it negative? Like no, you say person does not look like you.
Yeah, you can say that, right? You know, that's right. You can ke jaisa, like you can say that, like Dhanraj, you can put in any, like, let's say name of I'm just think of an example now. Let's not use your name. Let's use somebody else's name here. John, let's say Shah Rukh Khan ke jaisa nahi dikhta hai. Okay, you can debate about it, like, so let's say you make a sentence, John Shah Rukh Khan jaisa dikhta hai, and somebody's like, no, that's not true. Aisa nahi ke jaisa nahi dikhta hai. Okay, वह शाहरुख खान के जैसा नहीं दिखता है, वह आमिर खान के जैसा दिखता है, which is another actor, right? So you can counter it with a negative sentence. Is that what your question was, Dhanraj? I want to make sure feed in.
Yes, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. The third one is, so first one is the example, and so this is like when you're comparing the looks and the qualities. The third one is where you're saying it as, okay, like example would be जैसे मैंने कहा, as I said, जैसे मैंने कहा, which means as I said. Okay, so we will use the like do as I said, जैसे मैंने कहा वैसा करो. Okay, and we'll learn more use cases of it when we do it in the pair. But in this case, like जैसे मैंने कहा, जैसे मैंने बोला, जैसे मैंने सुना, as I heard, जैसे मैंने सुना. Okay, जैसे, okay. So this one, let me write down more use cases here. जैसे मैंने कहा, जैसे मैंने कहा, you can also say मैंने बोला, जैसे मैंने बोला, जैसे वह गा रहा है, as he is, वो जैसे वह गा रहा था, as he was singing. Okay, basically all of them you will see the meaning of this part as. Okay, this one will make more sense when we do it in the pair, jaise and वैसे. Okay, so now finally let's talk about using them in pair, jaise and वैसे. Okay, hopefully some of what I said or at least covered, it should still stick with you. I know this is a long topic, so you may have to go over the video one more time just so that you remember it. Okay, so the first one is when you're trying to compare or the qualities or the likeness, right? So I'm going to take the simple one, right? Like, so in this case you talk about like father, like son, right? You might have heard of this saying. You can say जैसा बाप वैसा बेटा, like father like son. Okay, that's a very common one. Another one I can think of is जैसा सवाल वैसा jawab. What do you guys think it means? Simona ji? Jaisa sawal, waisa jawab.
Like question, like answer.
That's right. Sawal is question. Jawab is answer. As the question, so the answer. As the question, so the answer. What does it mean? When will you use jaisa sawal, waisa jawab? Simona ji?
Maybe someone didn't put the question right and he get quite an uncertain answer. So
Weird answer, yeah. So it can go both ways. A good question get good responses. Weird questions or sarcastic questions get the similar responses, right? So you can say, oh, jaisa sawal, waisa jawab. Okay.
Ashu Ji, why do I use jaise sawal?
Which one?
Why do I use a jaise?
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. That's a good catch. Jaisa sawal. Okay. Like kings, like subjects. How will you say that in Hindi? Like king, like subjects. Sunita ji? Like king, king is the Raja. Like king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jaise Raja.
Like subjects, like his people he's ruling over. Okay, so Jaisa Raja. Now this is a saying in Hindi, so it may not come to you very naturally. What do you mean by subjects? It's not like science, math, biology. It's not that subject, right? It's the people the person is governing, right? So Jaisa Raja.
Waise log.
Waise log or waisi praja. Praja is a more formal word of people. It's an idiom in Hindi. Jaisa Raja, waisi praja, right? Waisi because it's plural. Waisi praja. Okay, feminine plural. It's called as waisi praja.
What is the meaning? Matlab kya hai? What does it mean?
Yeah, I was gonna ask like who would like to share it? What does it mean? Jaisa Raja, waisi praja. I was gonna ask some of you. What do you guys think? Just make a guess.
Like the king, the people are also like that.
Yeah, so let's
We
say
get what we deserve.
You can say that you get what you deserve, but that's but let's say you go to a country or a city, and I'm not making it up, okay, just like a hypothetical place, okay, and you king is very unruly, very rude, okay, for your first time there, okay, and similarly you meet with people and you find out that okay, they are also very unruly, very rude, right? So you can say Jaisa Raja, Vaisi Praja, like the king, like so are the subjects. Okay. You can also say you go to a company, let's say you join a new company, not you, your friend, he's telling you about his experience in a new company he joined, that how authoritative the CEO is. Okay. And he just so micromanaging, constantly asking status, and so are the other people within the company. It's such a micromanaged company, everyone is asking for status all the time. Your response could be, oh, Jaisa Raja, Vaisi Praja. In one small sentence you can basically summarize, like as the king, so are the subjects. He's not the king per se, the CEO, but in this context you are saying as the ruler, so are the people, basically, he is governing. Yeah. Slightly better or still not clear?
No, I'm looking for a crazy US political comparison, but it's not coming.
Let's not go there. Okay.
Ashu Ji, can I say that the way of the ruling reflects on the people, on the subject?
Say it again.
So the way of the ruling reflects on the subject.
The way of ruling depends on the subject.
No, reflects on the subject.
That is true. Yeah.
So this is how I would explain it, or not?
This is how you would explain it. Jaisa Raja, Vaisi Praja. Like you're saying, like the way it depends on these people, like the people there.
No, it depends on the ruler. The way that the king is ruling, it reflects on the people. So it's a bad ruler, the results is bad people.
Okay, yes, you can say that. Yeah. Right. So let's keep going. I'm going to give you some more idiom. The second one I have is Jaisa Dam, Vaisa Kam. Okay. Now these idioms it's very hard to tell you to memorize, but it's good that we are on this topic Jaisa and Vaisa because it's easier to remember. What is Dam and what is Kam? Heatherji, you want to tell us?
Dam is price and Kam is work.
Okay, and what does it mean?
Um,
Very common US saying.
is it kind of like you get what you put into it? Or it's like you get what it's worth?
That's right. You get what you pay for, right? Jaisa dam, vaisa kam. You get what you pay for. You pay more, you get a very branded clothes, and you don't pay well, you get the duplicate or the defective stuff. Right? So jaisa dam, vaisa kam. Okay, you get what you pay for. Hopefully this makes sense, right? Hopefully it doesn't require more explaining, but you guys let me know. Okay, next one is also an idiom. It's not Jaisa naam vaisa kaam. Just like you have dam, the next one is Jaisa naam. Okay, sorry, this one is vaisa. I don't know why. Jaisa naam vaisa kaam. Who would like to tell this one? Sharmila ji? Jaisa naam vaisa kaam. What is naam here? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Tara ji, go for it. If you're on it. Jaisa naam vaisa kaam.
Nam is famous here, I think.
Yes, naam is the name and kaam is
Right.
work. What does it mean? When will you use it?
I think when we say somebody is very famous by its name, by his name, but his work is not very good.
Yeah.
And I think
So yeah, that's good. Right? So just let's say somebody's name is Veer. Veer means brave, and they are really brave in real life. Okay, as a person also, you can say, "Oh, jaisa naam vaisa kaam." Okay. Similarly, like Tej is like also you can say smart or sharp. It's you can say that as well. Again, not to pick on your name, like Sharmila. Sharmila is shy, or someone with a lot of qualities, right? Modesty, right? Modest, right? Humble, right? So you can say Jaisa naam vaisa, calm. In that context, like she is in real life also, she is very humble and modest, right? In that case, you can use that. Right? So in English, I was looking it up, and in British English, there is an idiom for it, which does exactly what it says on the tin. Does exactly. Now it may not translate one-on-one, but that's what I found. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Tin is like the box you are purchasing, like a can or something, and if the box says like something about the thing inside it, it does exactly what it says on the tin. Any questions? I know we are running out of time, and there are two more use cases of Jaisa and Vaisa. So rather than rushing it, we can maybe push the other two major use cases of Jaisa and Vaisa to the next class. Thoughts, questions, comments?
Ashu Ji, maybe I'm using this incorrectly, but sometimes like when I just want to say something is like something, and I'm throwing in like X, K, J, S, A, Y. Like, is that not correct?
Jaisa X hai, vaisa Y hai. That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll do those cases in the next class. We are like only 3 minutes, and I always run out of time. But you are absolutely right. When you are talking about those two cases, we'll when you're comparing the qualities as well, like जैसे आपको पसंद है, जैसे आपको coffee पसंद है, वैसे मुझे भी coffee पसंद है. Just like the way you like the coffee, I like the coffee too. Okay. जैसे आप काम जल्दी करती हैं, वैसे मैं नहीं कर सकता. And I'm thinking it fast, but well, let's say like जैसे आप जल्दी languages learn करती हैं, मैं नहीं कर सकता. The way you learn the languages quicker or faster, I cannot do that. Right? So those
Truth,
are all.
truth.
Yeah.
That is the truth for the people in our group.
Right? और जैसे आप कहेंगे वैसे मैं करूंगी. All those cases will do in the like whatever, however you will say, I will do exactly like that. Okay. So all those cases will do in the next class. Again, जैसा and वैसा. Okay. Any questions before at least we can stop the broadcast now?